Hello, welcome to the Pedal Progressions podcast, where progression is the obsession. And we are happy to say we are part of the Michigan Midpack Media Group, along with our friends at Dirty Chain Podcast. And we are recording from the new Vie 13's studio, where we had a really good time talking to someone that Kellen will tell you about in a minute. First, I'd like to touch on the sponsors. We are sponsored by KOM Cycling. Check out their stuff at komcycling.com. I was at their headquarters earlier this week, and they have a lot of cool things. I ended up coming home with a whole bunch of stuff in my car, and can't recommend them more. They're another local Michigan company, much like Vie 13. Check out our discount code PPP15 and get 15% off on all their stuff. Also, 8th Day Gym. I was there earlier today. It was real hard. It was fun. But winter is coming, and the gym has better scenery and is a more intense workout than the trainer. I promise you will enjoy it more. Also, Building Blocks Foundation. Check us out, buildingblocksfoundationinc.org. We could use the donations for next year's summer program to help all the youth in Grand Rapids. And then one last thing I'd like to bring up is to rate, review, comment, share the show. I always forget to promote that part, but it really does help us in the long run. So our numbers have been going up and up and up, and we get lots of good feedback when we're riding, and we really enjoy bringing you guys what you want. So thanks. Craig, take on this giant events list we have now.
Buckle up, everybody. November 8th, you're going to be watching Iceman, or you're going to be racing Iceman. I hope you either are spectating, drinking a lot of beer, and yelling at all of our friends that go by in the race. That will be November 8th. We all know it. We love it. The best day of the year is actually Sunday, November 9th. It is the bootleg race. The race goes down at 11 in the morning at Copper Ridge Trails. If you need directions, check out trailforks.com or our Facebook page. So
I did make an event finally.
Yes, we've got an official event, and I'm looking at it right now, and there is in fact information. It is the 20th anniversary of this race.
Post your pictures from all the years. I'd like to make a photo album of all the memories. If you've got pictures from or videos from the other years, put them in one place or tag them on Instagram so we can all reminisce about how awesome this event is. So
November 9th, it starts at 11 a.m. You're going to want to get there early, get the lay of the land. I've been told that this is going to be a multi-stage event this year. And maybe that's too much information, but since you listen to this podcast, you know a thing or two about the people that organize the event. So 3 stages, you're only timed on the downhill, and those stages are going to change. So it's going to be a new track, 3 tracks this year. Come to the best downhill event of the year. The only entry fee that you have to pay is a working bicycle part or a 6-pack of beer or another vessel of unopened alcohol or another beverage.
I did add or something cool.
All right, just bring whatever, guys. It doesn't matter. There are no rules.
If it meets, it counts.
If it's cool and someone would want to take it home with them, bring it.
And I have bad news for everyone else listening to this. We're sitting here at Vie 13. We just got a tour of this showroom looking at some incredible fabrics and some awesome race kits. I am going to smoke everyone because of how aerodynamic I am in my Vie 13 kit. Kellen, tell us where the people can find more information about all things pedal progressions.
You can find us on Instagram at pedal_progressions_podcast. Our merch store is in the description below it. We love seeing all our stuff on you. You can also email us at pedalprogressions@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Send us any questions or any suggestions that you'd like to hear on the show. So without further ado, we had Gary Ryan, owner of Vie 13, on tonight. Gary is a real cool guy. I just want to point out that kind of in between our interview and doing this, he showed us all his clothes, and it's sweet. You need to come down the shop and check this stuff out. He bragged about being banned for 5 different kits he put out because it was so good. Just a fact we didn't talk about that he kind of mistakenly left out. But we also talked about Solving the toilet flushing issue from Australia and which way it goes. We learn about professional inline skating. We learn about him turning down a Guinness World Records, or not him, his wife at least. The crazy money that goes into Japanese track cycling betting. And making kits that require lube to put on. So without further ado, here is Gary Ryan.
How do I know that you guys aren't AI?
So we in fact are, and your voice is going to be added to a library. If anyone's creating a large language model, they have an opportunity to choose from any one of our voices.
Weird.
I never thought about
Australian, some American sounding words. Compromised Australian, I think, should be the
Compromise.
the sub, the drop down menu.
So if they always use like a British accent to tell us about Dysons, what does an Australian accent get used for?
Toilets.
I was going to say Outback Steakhouse is the first thing I think.
Dunnies we call them too, right? Dunnies.
That's funny. I think you're our first accent we've had on.
What? I do not have an accent. You three have the accent.
It's all about perspective.
We're in Australia right now.
Yeah. Welcome to Australia.
Well, it seems
Thanks
like
for making the trip.
You've created a little slice of heaven here in Rockford, Michigan. This place is awesome.
Thank you.
How long you been here?
We have 6, measuring by ducks, 6 years.
By ducks, you mean giant rubber duckies that are behind us.
Rubber duckies, yep, for the Rotary crew.
Yeah, you were telling about this before we started. You're supposed to paint one every year.
Yeah. It's $100 every year, and we're meant to decorate it, paint it. They race it down the river, I believe. We put it in the window. It's a competition, but we haven't decorated anything.
By decorate it, you should get just one of your jerseys and put it on it.
Oh yeah. Well, our test prints are miniature. We print them small, so I could cut it out and glue it on and have like a US Olympic duck. It would be that easy, but
you can have a whole team now. They can draft each other and go fast.
Yeah, we just we have all these ideas every year, and then we look up and we've never done it, and we're just like, let's just keep being that brand in town that doesn't do it.
Well, that's got to be kind of tough when, and I'm assuming here, like 90% of your day is on the computer designing stuff, and somebody hands you a project. They're like, hey, you just need to design something for this.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
That is definitely part of it. No, and we're just, we're ma and pa, and, we're flat out from when we get here to when we finish, and, we renovated this back room. That was all the weekends, all the extra time, and we're just like, we're not doing that again. We like riding bikes.
There is a market for porch goose jerseys for people on their front porches. Our house is currently missing our porch goose because it's dressed up for Halloween at Courtney's office.
Are you sure someone didn't steal it?
That could have happened as well, but I saw the pictures. It's dressed as a ghost, so.
Nice.
But yeah, the voice you're hearing is Gary Ryan. He is very much has a Michigan accent from Rockford, Michigan.
Deep south, I say. Deep south. Really deep.
Yeah.
Down under Michigan.
Like toilet flushing the other way deep.
Yeah. Past the equator deep.
Is that a true thing? Does toilets really flush the opposite way?
They do.
Huh? Well, good to know. Didn't know that.
Okay, we're done.
Solving. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Get the heck out. Because where are we right now?
We're in the Vie 13's studio.
Which is awesome. And we're surrounded by a ton of jerseys, a ton of cool old bikes, a lot of barnwood, it looks like. This place is rad.
A whole library of magazines with Gary's wife, Teresa, in them, who's awesome. She big-timed us? No. She was busy. She had prior obligations, but she is quite the. When I went to look her up to do research, there was like 7 pages of bios. I was like, oh, this is a lot of work.
Yeah, she's been busy. She's a very humble athlete. You know, I tried. You know, she has 29 world titles in speed skating. I know, ridiculous, 29. But it's more world titles, professional world titles, than any woman in any other sport. Right, so I'm like, and I grew up with the Guinness Book of Records, and I'm like, I'm going to get her in the Guinness Book of Records. So I reach out to the federation. I reach out to them, and they're like, yeah, if the federation can confirm that is the most, right? And I'm like, no problem. So reach out, get the approval from them, present it to Therese. I'm like, hey, you're going to go in the Guinness Book of Records, and she's like, nope.
Womp womp womp.
I know, right? So I was like, really?
So you could have got one of those plaques that hang on your wall back here and the Guinness
I
Book of
was
World Records.
all over it. I was thinking this is going to be the coolest thing, but
You secretly have it in a drawer. It's like behind the bookshelf.
right, did it anyway.
Yeah.
I was like, well, you know what about the husband? Is there a husband whose wife has more than 29 world titles, right? Because they're all about the weird awards, but nope.
How did you guys meet? Like, how did you end up from Australia to here? I'm sure it's a very short, quick story, but
Right, to sunny Michigan.
yeah, like how do you go from south of the equator?
It really is pretty short. We met at a World Champs, you know, and I hounded her until she dated me, and that is a true story. She
Did you try the most hounds for Guinness Book World Records? You should check into that one.
Thank you. It wasn't. No, she. My coach was her best friend. So she would come to Australia for like 6 months to train through the winter, and through the winter here. Yeah, and I met her at a World Champs, and then I lived on the other side of Australia. You know, which is the same as the other side of the United States. Like it's
Far.
Yeah, it's a 4-day drive. So you know, so when she showed up in Perth, I magically showed up too, and you know, really was I'd never chased a girl. I had no skills. I didn't know at the time, but confirmed no skills. But eventually, with persistence, she went out on a date. So
That's a true endurance athlete right there.
yeah, right.
Keep at it.
Keep at it. So until she's just like, okay, just stop. I'll go out with you. Just stop.
Was that for speed skating? Like,
Yeah.
You were a speed skater?
Yeah, I was a speed skater. Yeah. So, yeah, and we just met there, and then, you know, obviously our worlds were completely different, and all of our friends are like, you idiots. This cannot work. And for like A-type personalities, like that's all you need. People saying you can't do something, I'm like, hold my beer. Right?
Watch this, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, and then eventually, you know, like I moved here. But yeah, and then you know, Therese we both went into professional cycling after that, and
So professional inline skating, right?
yep.
How does that work? Is that like
Inline and
distance?
ice. I was a sprinter. Therese was, well, she was a Phelps. She did everything. Every event.
all everything.
Wow.
Yeah, so like, you know, I chased my entire life for a world championship and got like top 5. And she would win 5 in 1 championships.
So if you average it out, you guys did pretty good.
Yeah, you know, my cupboard is full of, you know, rainbow jerseys. You know, not mine, but
They feel tight.
Nice to look at from time to time. Yeah.
I said the goal was a rainbow jersey. You know what I mean? Like, it just depends how you look at it. But yeah, so speed skating first, and you know, I was a sprinter. Therese was endurance, so crazy. You know, I think she still has the world record for the marathon, so 42 kilometers in, I want to say 53 minutes.
Jeez,
I'm trying to math that in my head.
it's real fast.
Yeah.
I got no scale.
Well, she ended up a professional cyclist on the US national team, and I don't think she's done a time trial faster on a bike. So
She's faster on skates than she is on a bike?
yeah.
That's crazy to me.
What is it about skating that hooked you both? I guess I consider it to be not necessarily, it's a less popular sport.
Well, this was a while back.
Yeah, you really got to have an interest or be influenced by someone. What kind of was your origin story there?
Yeah, so for me, I just, I was good at a lot of different sports, and they all come pretty easy. I was a very quick. My dad was a professional running sprinter. So I was very quick, like I've done a 10, 400 meter, so I was really fast as a runner. So if you're fast as a runner, you're great at rugby, you're great at basketball, you're great at anything that you can use speed. Skating, I sucked. And that was it. It was just that it was so hard to me, and I had to work so hard to be good at it. And my brother, he was doing it. The brother closest in age to me, and I just wanted to beat him. And then I beat him, and then there was like a faster dude at the rink, and I was like, well, I'll beat him, and then I'm done. And then we went away, and there's like a state competition, and I was like, oh man. So I was like, worked hard at that, and then beat him, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then it was like, yeah, but there's nationals. I'm like, seriously? So
We all know.
and then there's world champs, right? And then fifth.
And would you say you were more into ice or inline?
I like both. I think most of the sport does both. Like the current Olympic champion Erin Jackson in the 500 is like a big inline skater. I feel like nearly all of the US national team on ice is former inline skaters, so it translates really well.
In my head, I picture Australia being very hot and not having ice. So all I can think of is like the Jamaican bobsled, but like the Australian speed skating team. Like they just get a bunch of rugby players out there on skates, like falling down and like.
You wouldn't think. Well, there's not. We are at the Olympics, and we Winter Olympics, and we win a few, but it's weird. It's weird. It's not curling weird, but it's like. It's like the tricks and moguls and stuff like that.
Action sports stuff. Yeah.
But we have won Olympic gold in speed skating. We have. Stephen Bradbury is his name. And in Australia, it's called a Bradbury. So if you're... So what ended up happening is, I believe, and don't hold me to this, but I want to say the quarterfinals, he was kind of like not looking like he was going to make it. And a heap of people crashed, and he made it. And then the semi-finals, he was like off the back again, and like 2 people crashed, and he made it. And then in the final, he was half a lap behind, like not even, and everyone fell. Everyone, and he just come through like the last corner, the winner, right? Which is true Australian fashion. So now in Australia, like if you're playing pool and you like accidentally knock the black in, not at the end, it's a Bradbury. We're like, oh, Bradbury, he's done it. So
that's the only way I win.
Sorry, Stephen. Sorry, but yeah. So, but not normally, great on ice. Not normally great in cold. I call myself a endangered species here in the winter because there is a few Aussies in the summer, but mate, I'm the only one.
It's coming,
right?
Winter's coming.
Yeah, they're leaving.
How did you when did you guys decide to like switch to bikes? Did you do it together as a couple, or one followed the other?
Yeah, so Trace really, her goal was the Olympics, and for the longest time, inline speed skating was being pushed for the Olympics. The IOC come out to World Championships and they're like, we love the sport. we need another racing sport. We don't want another judge sport. This is perfect. It appeals to the younger generation. It was just what they wanted. Our federation, though, was like, hockey, artistic, and speed is under the federation. And they were really like, take all three or none, And they had, in Barcelona, they had hockey, and it didn't really go so well. Artistic was another judge sport, and they really wanted speed, and they thought they could leverage how much they wanted speed to get the other two in. No, not the case. They just said, okay, then none, but that carrot was kind of there for a while, and Teresa had won, everything, all the world titles, all the World Cups, all the Swiss Inline Cups, Pan American Games, all that stuff. So, and eventually she's like, well, I want to go to the Summer Olympics. So, so she went to track cycling. I believe her first World Cup, like top 5, which was insane. I don't think they had a top 10 in 2 years kind of thing. So we're like, oh, okay, this is going to go really well. And it was, going into Beijing, and, you had to qualify in the World Cups, and they had written that, okay, between this time and this time in the World Cups. But, Copenhagen was the last World Cup. It was closest to Worlds, which was closest to the Olympics. So we just figured, hey, let's just aim for that World Cup.
It's then or never.
Right, because it's like to hold form, it's difficult. So so we aimed for that. They had a 6-day race there right before the World Cup, and there was a big crash, and they had to repair the velodrome, repair the surface, so they moved the World Cup a week, which was all of our issues. So so they moved it a week. Teresa went in. I think she was on the podium twice for the points and the scratch. To make the Olympic team, you just had to podium in a World Cup. That's it. There was no other Americans that podiumed. We're sweet. But the politics of the sport, others went to arbitration. They're like, hey, she qualified outside of the time window.
Because of that week.
Because they moved it a week, right?
No.
So she didn't go. They didn't select her. They didn't put her on the national team. They didn't put her in the talent pool, I think they were just so like, oh. So she didn't go. And then she's like, okay, well, that's that. She focused the next year, was flying. We went back to Australia for the off-season. She did a race on the track against our whole national team, which are killer, and lapped the field. Killed them, and they were like teaming against her. So, so she was flying. She went into the first World Cup, with our professional team, and the UCI changed the rules that year. They do after the Olympics, where they won't allow more than one American in the event. Post Olympics. Leading up to, they do, because it's more opportunity to, score points. So yeah, she got there in form at the World Cup, and they're like, yeah, there's an American racing with the national team. You can't race it.
When you guys are at home, do you watch like breakdancing on there, and you're like just waving your fist at the TV?
What's that gal's name? Ray Gunn.
Right. Oh,
Australia.
Oh no! I'm sorry. I didn't know she was Australian.
I would like a citizen test. Let's not confirm.
Well,
she's
not
Australian.
as bad as that female in the half pipe on skis.
Right.
I don't know if you ever saw that.
Oh yeah. I watched the whole.
She went up and down the half pipe in her run, and then on the last hit, like, did a 180.
That's how I would do it.
Savor the best for last. So anyway, so Therese went to the road. She's like, well, I'm just going to go to the road, and and that was a transition from track to road. 6-hour days, changed her body type completely. Went on to pro teams and national teams, and she's on the long team for London. I think one of the highest UCI points going into London. She put everything in to apply, and they didn't consider her. And they're like, we took it to arbitration, and it turns out that they lost her application. It was sent, but they lost it.
You can put quotes around that.
There's no cameras. So they lost it, and they're like, well, she's definitely going to go to the Olympics. We need to reselect the squad, but we're in arbitration like a week before the games, and that was the year that her teammate, actually, Kristen Armstrong, who's three-time Olympic champion, current Olympic champion, she had broken a collarbone like 6 weeks before, and she was a coach's discretion. Mm-hmm. So she's like, Therese, I think if we go through arbitration, I might not be picked to go. And she asked her to not go, to step out, and she did. Wow. And Kristen did win. She did win. So then she went to ice, speed skating, and Olympic trials. She was third in the first event, 0.3 off making the Sochi team, but her best events were to come. There was a rest day. I was there. She did a time in practice that would make the team. So the coach was like, "You're done. You don't need to do any more. You're ready for tomorrow." Yeah, she was standing there, and someone crashed. Sprinting, and veered off. She turned around, seen them, couldn't jump because you got samurai swords in your feet, Mm-hmm. And it hit her skates. She scorpioned, face planted into the ice, and reconstructive surgery and brain injury and end of career. Yeah, so
man,
yeah, crazy. But we have a 8-year-old boy now, which would, she would have went to Sochi, and I think would have been probably best American finisher there based on a trajectory. She would have pushed on to win the next games for sure, I know her, but our boy is the raddest thing we've done. So
better than an Olympic gold.
Much better. Yeah. I'm speaking for her now, but she says it all the time. So, no, I think it's, it's rough. It's rough to miss these goals, but I don't know. I think sport is like that. I think most of the time you're crashing, and things not going right, and you just kind of dusting off and be like, okay, well, keep pushing on. So it was just kind of like that at the time. She lined up actually. She had to get a jaw all wired up and was messed up. I mean, and she was in a dark room for a month afterwards, but she, sunglasses on the whole bit, lined up to race the next day. She just didn't pass, concussion protocol. Actually, to be fair, either did I. Just quietly, I was like, taking it to, you had to say the months backwards.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do that.
Oh, I'm not doing that right now.
Like quickly. Yeah, I did not pass the test.
Well, I talked about this on the Dirty Chain podcast the other day. We're talking about, because I ended my racing career with a head injury as well, but I didn't have someone to tell me not to go. And we sliced my eye open and drained it, and I dropped in the first rock garden I hit coming into the woods. I blacked out because my brain was still swollen, and I just smoked a tree.
Oh.
And then I didn't get treatment after, like you should have, and didn't do the dark room thing, and didn't do the anti-inflammatories, and then I have lasting effects now, and that was in 2006 that happened. So
it's no joke.
Yeah, the head injury thing is wild. But speaking of head injuries, I met your son at the Eclipse on Tap beer release party. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't help but notice he plays football and not rugby, and I did want to know how that happened, because I know Rockford has both teams.
They do, not enough, so not at his age, right? So they don't have anything young enough. So no, I would love for him to play rugby, but I've fallen in love with gridiron too. Like it's a super cool sport, early on, I was like, oh, look at these blokes with pads on, and helmets. And I'm just like, seriously, we have nothing in rugby, but it's a whole different sport.
Yeah, I played rugby for high school and then on the Grand Rapids team that traveled.
Nice.
So I played football too, and I will say that rugby, they gently turn you around to rip the ball out, and in football, they're just trying to kill you.
Right.
So when you play rugby, like at the college level, and you play with ex-high school football players, that's the worst time you could play rugby because they're just trying to lay you out like everyone's got pads and helmets on and not spin you around for a ruck or a maul. It's awful. Like I just swore off of that part of the sport. But
that's the way I explain to the boys back home, because they ask me all the time, and I'm just like, well, it's super cool. There's a lot going on, because they're always like, they don't run both ways, and are they fit, and like the whole. Like, are they soft because of the pads and the helmet? And I'm like, no, they're not.
It's getting in a car accident every time you carry it.
Yeah, like they gridiron is way more violent. It's not tackles, it's kill.
Yeah, there's less precision. I had the pleasure of going to South Africa last year, and they had rugby sevens.
Yeah,
going on. Oh my God, it was so much fun. It's like
sevens is fast too.
14-minute games,
right?
And people are just flying around. And it was cool. The female United States team made the final, got smoked by I think it was New Zealand, of course.
Stupid Kiwis.
Yeah, but
I'm just going to take a sip of my beer.
But what struck me is just you would have so many scenarios where in American football somebody would have just got their life ended in terms of just set themselves up poorly with the angle and would have got smoked. But there's a precision tackle that happens, and they ultimately gain an advantage based on how somebody was put to the ground.
Right.
So it was cool to see.
Oh, it's impressive that you picked it up. Yeah, it's cool. Sevens are fun, It's way more action. I grew up in an area that we played rugby league, which is a lot more similar to gridiron, really. It's 5 tackle kick or turnover. So with that break, I feel that league is, people are going to not like this that hear this, sorry. Especially in America, rugby union is popular. But, it's a bit more violent league because there's more rest. When it's really ongoing, it's such a flowing sport union that, fatigue sets in and tackles are not as hard and stuff like that. Not all the time, but, but with more breaks, there's tons more violence. So
isn't there a thing called Australian football too?
There is.
That's a third.
Yeah, you keep stealing all our kickers for your kickers over here in gridiron.
Well, good. What's the difference between that and rugby and other football?
Oh, jeez.
The only thing I know is
that is the can of worms.
The only thing I know is they can pick them up to catch a ball in the air.
That's rugby.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Because I was the person that got lifted.
Yeah, true. You're both right, actually. In AFL, Australian rules football, they, it's, I'm from a rugby league area that we're not big at AFL, so we make fun of it. We call it aerial ping pong. But, it's much bigger fields. They can pass, they can kick to each other, there's kind of no sides, right? You're more like soccer in a way. So you kick it to each other, but you can jump up onto the shoulders of a guy and then push up off their shoulders to catch the ball.
Wow.
So, and they're all 6'5", they're all super tall dudes, and I want to say they run half marathon per match. They're crazy fit. Yeah, it's insane. But they're really good kickers. They can kick either foot, 5 different kicks. So
and sometimes on the run too, right?
Most times on the run, yeah.
Yeah, drop kick
And they're very precise, you know. So whether it's torpedo kick or end over end or whatever, like they're very precise. And then to score, you have to kick, you know, through the sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're accurate. So yeah, I want to say there's so many collegiate and professional kickers that are Aussies.
I mean, they changed the technique for what used to be called coffin corner, those punts where you're just outside of field goal range and you still need to pin the opponent deep. They always used to just pray and try and hit the corner between, you know, the 10-yard line and the goal line. Mm-hmm. And now you see them hit the end of the football. Never used to do that. I want to say it's probably 10 years ago that technique kind of started, and it was definitely Australian football that inspired that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's probably our biggest sport back home. You know, we have 120,000 people come to watch it, but you know, the pay in, you know, NFL is a little bit different.
Fair. Craig, did you know you could actually drop kick the ball like in rugby and score in NFL football?
I know quarterbacks used to do that.
Yeah.
Like a surprise field
I didn't
goal.
know that.
I played football on a team here, and I actually practiced it because I was a backup quarterback, and like as a trick play, because I was a fly half in rugby, I could drop kick, but with a football it's a little wild.
Yeah, it's point. I can do it, right? Because we mess around with my boy.
I can do it when there's not 300-pound dudes chasing me.
Oh yeah, you probably the same.
Isn't there a weird rule to that? You can only do it on third down or something. Like you can't do it on a fourth down.
I think you can, but if you mess it up, it's just a turnover where you spike the ball on the ground.
You're gonna have a lot of people fact checking you. You know?
Luckily, most of our fans don't watch football.
Yeah, right.
Or Australian rules football, or rugby, or skating. No.
Probably a lot of things we're talking about.
But we're learning, and that's what's important. We're all learning.
I like that.
Do you mountain bike at all?
I do, not very well. It's my, you know, least cycling skill, I think. You know, I not this season, but I've been racing BMX for the last like 6 seasons. Track cyclist, which is, you know, bulls in a china shop. You know, there's a lot of headbutting and hitting at, you know, 50 miles per hour.
That's just terrifying. Like, I went to Grattan that one day when you were there. Like, we didn't get to talk because I left with my tail between my legs, but...
Well, Grattan is a pussycat, you know. Track cycling is wild, you know. It's you know, we really hit each other, and, you know, a match sprint, you know, where there's just two on the track, they always look like they're walking around kind of thing.
We asked your boys on the Clips on Tap team about it to explain it to us.
Yeah, it's a weird sport, but you know, realistically, as long as once you come into the final 200 meters, there's a line, right? Sprint line, they call it, sprint lane. As long as you go in there and you don't come back out, now you can go to the line and headbutt and hit the dude the whole way around the corner, but as long as you don't go out of the line, you won't be disqualified. Before then, though, you can take him to the top of the track and throw him off the top. Like if he's on the outside of you, you can just right turn and just knock him off.
So we're using like motocross techniques on road bikes.
Yeah, like tons of headbutting and shoulders, and you know. And Kieran is a you know, the other sprint event. Well, there's 3.
I thought you were going to say a person. I'm like, no, well, who's this person I'm supposed to know about?
Kieran's a beer, actually, a Japanese beer. But, you know, and they started the whole, you know, they still have it. Kieran's in Japan, you can bet on them. So it's, you know, crazy money, crazy drama. You know, the tracks, you know, they go to, I mean, you know, it's like $300,000 to do 6 months of racing there, and that's the internationals, you know, like the top class Kieran races, which is, I'm not even kidding, it's a degree like a lawyer in Japan. You have to study 4 years to become a Kieran racer. But they are like off the chart. They show up in Bentleys and Rolls Royces, and I'm not even kidding.
They're
Crazy.
like Premier League soccer players to Japan.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I've had a few mates that's gone over. You know, they've done documentaries actually. Shane Perkins is one, Australian. It's NJS, like it's old school bikes, so you have to be able to build your bike from scratch, like individual ball bearings, the whole bit. You have to be able to build it from scratch, and nobody else helps you, and that's what you race. Like, yeah, it's insane. Lace your wheels, the whole bit. So, but yeah, and then you're crazy money, but you're like, they bet on you. So the week leading into competition, you're in a room by yourself. You have no phone, no internet, no connection to the outside world. You train by yourself because they have so much cheating, right? Because of the money.
The Hakuza get into it.
I don't know.
I just know that from Marvel movies. So like that's my extent on that.
But the actual UCI sport, you know, like it's different but similar. You know, you're led up to speed with a motorbike on all of them. You know, I want to say they leave you at, I think, about 35 miles per hour. Maybe it's more, 40. Yeah, it's like 4 laps. It swings off, and you guys go at it for 4 laps.
Is this like velodrome track, or is it
Yep.
flat track?
No, velodrome.
Like
The-
tracks, a cycling type thing?
Yep. It's fixed gear, no brakes. You know, the Japanese side of it, they're outdoor mostly. They'll do it in the wet, you name it. And they have shoulder pads and bigger helmets, and you got to watch it. There's way more contact.
I'm interested in this. Friends of ours, their niece is on the U.S. Olympic track team. So
Oh, nice.
my extent of watching track cycling really just comes down to watching Chloe do laps, and I don't know what's going on. Like, I watched more of it this year than I ever had before, but the announcers for the Olympics are bad, and they do not explain the sport very well.
I know.
They just expect you to know what's going on, like you've been watching the whole time, and it's not. I don't feel like that's the best way to get new people in the sport.
No, agreed. And I know one of them, so I'm not going to say anything here. But
It's just assumed knowledge because they know it so well. It'd be like if we were talking about downhill racing, and you were watching it with us. We'd be talking at a level that you'd be like, "Wait, what? Huh?"
right. Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think they did a good job. I don't think they explain it very well. It's a weird niche sport, you know. Like, it's the sprinters are, man, you know, you're just doing bodybuilding basically.
So kind of going back to the Olympics there, what is it like going to the actual Olympics and being in the village and seeing all the athletes, and what's that whole experience like?
No, I haven't been. Yeah, so I wouldn't know. I think, you know, we've been a part of it in different projects. Mm-hmm. You know, we've had Kid in the last 5 Olympics and been a part of the run into it, which is always weird because you can't promote any of the athletes that you sponsor that are in the Olympics during the Olympics. Like, it's a contract. They're very serious about it. You know, the first, I feel like it was London was the first Olympics we had athletes go, and I thought they were kidding. You know, they're like, "Hey, you can't tag me in or mention me or anything like that," and I'm like, "We've been sponsoring you for 5 years with the goal being the Olympics." Yeah. You know,
and sponsoring them with what? We haven't even talked about it yet.
Yeah,
people don't even know what the heck you guys do.
I was about to segue that. I was like trying in my head. I'm going, what? How do I segue?
Yeah, so we make chamois lube. No, I'm kidding.
You make the coolest jerseys.
We make kits.
I've seen.
We make rapid kit. That's what we do.
Rapid kit. I love that. So that's implying speed right off the bat.
Yeah, it's either that or I say I'm a chamois slinger, which sounds bad.
But it's what you do.
It's exactly what I do.
Most of the teams of the people we ride with all ride your product, and it always looks good. I hear it's very comfortable. you guys are kind of the staple of West Michigan, and I hadn't realized until I really looked into it, like that you have athletes in the Olympics, and you have this giant worldwide thing going on when we're in a small shop in downtown Rockford, Michigan. There's like a little storefront.
Hole in the wall, you can say it.
That's the best. My favorite bars are hole in the walls, and my favorite places that make kits are holes in the walls.
Nice, thank you.
And it's a world-class hole in the wall. I regret to use that terminology, but we were chatting beforehand, and I think you let it slip that you had the fastest kit in the world for how many years in a row?
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, and this will piss off everybody.
That's what we're here for.
They won't listen to us, don't worry.
But currently we have the fastest kit in the world. You know, and to be fair, I think we've been probably top 3 since London. It maybe depends a little bit on the size of athlete that you tunnel test and stuff like that. But I think more of like I can put our suit on anyone and it'll be faster than any other suit that they put on, right? Because I think a lot of the money is from Pro Tour, you know, and they try and make like skinny tall dudes really fast. But I just want to make everybody fast, you know, and track sprinters are massive humans, right? Mm-hmm. You know, they're 220 pounds, 34-inch thighs. They're big dudes. So that's a lot of mass to make fast. So, you know, so we really focus on them, and we have, 4 of the top 5 fastest times in history in our suits for the track sprinters. But then, you know, we've had world hour record in our suit. Tons.
How do you get into it? Like, were you just getting ready and like doing your racing stuff, and you're like, man, I hate the way all these other suits fit. I think I could do it better. I'm going to set up a shop in Rockford, Michigan, and supply the world with the best suit in the world.
Yeah, that was not a goal at all. And it's a terrible business plan also, because the people that buy the fastest suits in the world don't buy them, right? Yeah. So it's not a good idea at all. You know, I think it's just from, you know, my sport would have, you know, 20 people within 0.1, you know, so my both speed skating and track cycling. So, you know, so my attention to faster was an obsession through my whole career. So it was really easy to do what we do. We kind of fell into it, to be honest. You know, we're working with sponsors for our professional women's team that you know, 15 years ago didn't have specific women's performance apparel, believe it or not. Wow. Just small men's, including chamois. So we just wanted to give our team an advantage, and, you know, it was pretty easy to do. It worked, but the sponsor at the time, it didn't work for production, right? Because production, the more you can make of one thing, the quicker, the cheaper it is. You know, splitting that into 2 things across all of their lines made no sense to them. So, you know, so they canned it, and we're like, hey, I think we could do it, you know? So, you know, yeah, so a bunch of weird, you know, happy accidents happened, and we ended up starting, and we did, you know, we give our team an advantage, and other teams wanted that advantage, and it snowballed, and here we are. So, yeah, the whole fastest suit in the world thing wasn't a goal, but was, you know, we had a really fast suit, and we just kept, you know, making it faster. And thanks to our connections in the pro cycling world, you know, we had free access to tunnels. You know, that helps.
So all your, well, I wouldn't say all, but your like top end kit is actually wind tunnel tested.
Oh yeah, yep.
So you know like the drag coefficient on your shirts or stuff like that. Like you know that.
Oh yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. Yeah, we speed jerseys, our speed suits, aero socks, we tunnel test. I always say times are changing, and we've kind of achieved our goals. I keep saying that I said before Paris that we're not gonna do another suit. We were the fastest in Tokyo, both Tokyos, the Tokyo before they moved it. Mm-hmm. And in our world, fabrics change quickly, things change quickly. So we had to redesign that suit, so fastest again for the next one. And then we said we were going to be done, but, our suits are seam welded, which is a really unique technology. You see it more in skiing, definitely
like
in swimming.
High frequency welds.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly. So there's certain fabrics that will accept that. The arena speed suit that was the super suit that was banned. I'm not going to get it wrong, the swimmers that are listening, but I want to say it was like 50 world records before they banned it. It was something ridiculous. But they banned it, but that company made all those suits. It went broke. And then it just by chance happened to be near our factory, and we acquired it and started making, sim welded suits.
you got some sweet new machinery at your
Yes,
back.
we did. Yes, we did. But I think it was for cycling. It was very early. I want to say. I mean, it's been 12 years, I think. So back then there was only a few like fabrics that would you'd be able to weld together, and it was a whole. That super suit, the swimming super suit, took an hour to put on. It had a slit in it that you could pee because you couldn't get it off, right? So that won't work for cycling, right?
Give it a few years.
Our
maybe.
first suit took 14 minutes. 14 minutes to put on, and I was pumped. And then we went to fit athletes with it, and they're like, there is no way in hell I'm putting this suit on. There's no way. 14 minutes?
And you're like, but here's the percentage faster you're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be.
I mean, I tried to tell them, but it was too long, because they're on and off the track, and, and then they're sweating. It's way harder to put on sweating.
The shamming.
Do the suits come with a lube to put on, or like?
Actually, it does. Actually, it does. We use Trilube, not a sponsor. But yeah, it's now it's like 4 minutes. 4 minutes to put the suit on. But we're the only one that seam welds. Seam bump is a huge issue. Where you put different textured fabrics to make different limbs faster. But the seam creates, a bump in the wind, which increases your, frontal mass. So basically you're wider, So, seam welding, there's no seam. It's just seamless straight from texture to smooth. So, yeah, we're still making things that others can't make. We have the rights to it in Asia. Actually, us and Victoria's Secret.
Ooh.
As weird as that story is.
Fastest bras in the world.
Right? Seamless like that. So we made suits for Paris. I don't know how much longer we're going to be doing it, to be honest. I think
we need to get our tech teachers.
Our errors. Get your seamless stuff here. No, I was speaking about it earlier. The local stuff is just the coolest stuff for me at the moment. It's cool to have all that fast stuff, but we've kind of ticked that box, and local stuff is rad.
Yeah, I mean, you're big in the local area with so many teams and so many events and stuff, and it was funny because I'd seen the symbol for years and just didn't know what it was.
right?
Like, I had no idea.
Oh yeah, we're terrible at marketing, terrible business people.
What's the story behind the name Vie 13?
Yeah, so you know,
I called it V for the longest time.
oh, that works too. It's life in French, by the way, V. Yeah, I think the inverted 13 was our goal. You know, we love that story of, you know, it being used for like 100 years in the tour. You know, they were superstitious. Actually, road cyclists still superstitious. But they would, you know, they would draw the number 13 and be like, oh, I'm pinning it upside down. I'm going to make my own luck today. I got 13, but I'm making my own luck. And that's just cool. You know, I think in cycling, I think in life, like if you don't make it happen, it doesn't happen. You know, and cycling for sure. If
Upside down 13 looks like a B, I'm just saying.
That's all right. Be awesome. Yeah, so we like that 13, but we couldn't have upsidedown13.com, so we had to pick a word. And Vie, we liked Vie, you know, contend for something, strive, you know, that worked. And as you said, V is life in French, you know, and it's road in German, it's go in Italian, Vie. So we kind of liked it.
That's deep.
Oh, we think about everything.
That's real deep.
We actually have K in our Vie 13 custom apparel, which, you know, for my best mate back home, it drives him crazy. He's like, you're spelling it wrong on purpose to get more eyes. And it's not the case, right? Like I was obsessed as a kid in 50s America. I just thought it was so cool, you know, space and...
Is your hair slicked back right now?
Dude, I have no hair. But if I had hair...
So it is slick back.
It is. Yeah. It is.
The most streamlined.
But yeah, it was, you know, and I love cars, you know, and 50s America, you know, customizing a car would be fluffy dice and hubcaps, and customizing it with a K was the salt flat races that they would re-engineer it. They would lighten it, they would strengthen it, bigger engines, you know, like it was all speed focused. So that's why there's a K.
Wow.
So I know you do a lot of custom stuff. Say some team wants to come to you and get a custom whatever kit made. How would they go about do that? Like just walk in the door and kind of tell what you want, you design it for?
Yeah, basically. You know, I think being an athlete in this world, it was always super hard to work out kit. Mm-hmm. I don't know why, and I think it still is a bit. So we want to make it fun, you know, and easy. Mm-hmm. So each person's different. We chameleon into whatever works the best for the customer. I mean, I've designed kits from drawings on napkins. Mm-hmm. You know, through to people that we've collaborated, you know, in the design and everything in between. So, yeah, so basically it's just that. It's just walk in, I want a kit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw walking through here, you got a big like palette full of colors and stuff like that you can pick from and design pretty much.
We do, yeah.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, we have, you know, swatches. They can pick like the color, which is on the fabric, and we match that to the file. We can be that specific. You know, people come across from different brands, you know, and they're just like, these are the color codes. And, you know, we look at them and I'm like, that's not the color, you know, and they don't know. Yeah. So, you know, so we'll just put it through a spectrometer and match that color. Or, you know, these days, just recently, there's a lot of AI technology that, you know, will help us print what they're seeing on screen. Mm-hmm. That's helping. Because each screen is, you know, I won't bore you with the details really, but each screen is, you know, whether you're viewing it on your phone or tablet or computer, if it's calibrated, you know, they're seeing all different things. Mm-hmm. So if there's a committee, they're all looking at it separately. They're all seeing different things. And they're like, needs to be brighter blue, needs to be lighter blue, you know, it's all over the place. So, yeah, so... you know, that's the challenge, getting colors right. when we entered into this world, I didn't come from this world, didn't come from print. So I was obsessed in making sure it's perfect. And I realized very quickly that I was the only one obsessed in making sure that it's correct. Everyone has these little disclaimers on the bottom that's like, maybe completely different to what you're seeing or agreed to, and I just think that sucks. So we do tons of test prints and, show them actual fabric samples and say, hey, this is how it's going to print and that kind of stuff.
I didn't realize you get that fine detail in color. Like, this is dark blue, this is light blue. Pick which one you want. Not like I would like a slightly lighter or darker tint to that.
Yeah. So we print with like CMYKs, so we can create any color on the color wheel, really. So it can be anything. I used to complain until I met a dude that like prints on paper. And I learned a lot, right? I'm like, well, it's white. And he's like, which white? I'm like, what do you mean, which white?
Yeah, it's white. It's white.
No, there's like 100 whites, So, no, his world's way worse. So I feel better about myself.
I still managed to trip him up. We were talking about doing a pedal progressions kit, and I'm like, I want one that people will come up to and come and see us, and we don't look like the evil empire that people don't want to talk to. He's like, huh.
But I want that jersey.
I want to look.
It's a challenge. I like the challenge.
Yeah. I want to look the least professional, but be professional at the same time.
Yeah. I want to look slow, but beat people.
Yeah.
So what is your background? You mentioned, it wasn't necessarily print or that realm of things.
Right.
What qualified you for this, or I guess what got you interested?
Oh, I'm not qualified for this at all.
Says the guy that's the fastest suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because we wanted it more than the others.
You like winning.
Yeah. Well, let me think. I do like winning, but I dislike losing way more.
That's a good way to put that.
Yeah. So, no, I don't know. I think biomechanical engineer is what I studied. I don't use it at all, except bike fitting my mates. That's like literally all I use it for. There is times in doing wind tunnel testing that, I can choose a fabric that is directional based on less resistance in that, range of movement, the pedaling range of movement, maybe saving a watt in resistance at speed. Other than that, just a super expensive thing to pay back.
Well, it's the way your brain works, I think, is what you gained from that education.
Maybe.
And you took that
Details.
engineering mindset and you applied it to something and you said, how can we make this faster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, that's nice. I think, making things fast is not even fast, fit
and function matters too. Like
very much. Comfort.
Yeah.
The chamois we pick, the Italian Cytec chamois, they're the best on the planet. There's a reason, 80% of the pro peloton use them. They are better, their rating system, say the 7+ hour rating system is 7+ hours because they've used pressure sensors and strain gauges to work out the point that the athlete takes weight off the saddle because their sit bones are hurting them, So, and that's inefficient. If you can take full weight on your saddle and you're not taking away, if you're not trying to lift with your legs, your efficiency's off the chart, so those kind of details make a big difference, for all cyclists.
And now you're getting into the BMX racing with you and your son. So there's downhill / BMX jerseys and pants and stuff that are coming
Absolutely.
out.
Absolutely.
So that anyone I've said anything to about it, they're like, oh, really? Oh, we're getting a 3/4 sleeve downhill jersey. Like,
No,
Well,
as long
remember-
as we don't have to wear a onesie like Jackson Goldstone.
Right. Remember the skin suit?
Oh, it's back. It's fully
it's
back.
full back.
Fox.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
It's faster. It's faster. Traveling at that speeds, there's savings, and those savings at the end of the hill are a big deal. Even for BMX, we actually had BMX kit in the London Olympics, and we did the Australian national team kit.
It looked good, by the way.
Thank you.
I did watch that event.
Yeah, no, it did, and at that time there was UCI pinch rules, right? So you had to pull 6 inches of fabric out from the leg to be UCI legal, because they didn't want things super aero. BMX have a big hill now, so they're doing 50-ish miles per hour, in the first straight. It's crazy fast.
Can it just be really stretchy?
Yeah, but you had to be able to pull 6 inches, So we did a cutting, at the time they weren't doing any aero testing in BMX. I just happened to be in like the national program that had like a world champion in that same program, and we were just training the gym together, and I'm like, hey, your kit sucks. You need faster stuff. You're traveling at speed. It makes sense now. We had a conversation, and they were just like, do you think you can make it? I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I can make it. So we started testing. We were crazy fast. 0.3 faster in the first straight.
Wow.
0.3.
Wow.
It's like there's a difference between whole shot and eighth. So that athlete ended up getting, that era, they had the time trial. So it was just one lap on a BMX by yourself, and it was a UCI world title. So they won 3.
I know you said you couldn't promote yourself with Olympic athletes. Can you talk about it now after the fact?
Oh, yeah.
So you can tell us like who all these people are now?
Yep.
Just not during the games.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
just not during the games. It's just a blackout.
It's because Nike paid a shitload of money to be the title sponsor of the Olympics.
That's a true
and
story.
they don't want any other clothing or apparel or equipment brand to be mentioned.
Yeah, so the Aussies I could talk about the whole way through, right? Mm-hmm. That was not a problem. It was only in America that was the issue. And you're right, Nike, say Toyota, McDonald's, these brands, they have the rights. But now that I know, they have it fairly, because like the American government doesn't really develop American sport. It's Nike and McDonald's and Toyota for 4 years, right? They're putting the money in to develop these young athletes that's coming through. So I actually don't have an issue with it.
That's a take I've never heard before.
Yeah, I never heard that they sponsor the athletes. I just thought they paid a bunch of money to throw their name on everything.
They sponsor all the programs. Like all of the funding for all these different sports, all the Olympic sports are all from them.
That makes more sense.
So it sounds like they just blow in at the end and be like, whoa, we're sponsoring, don't mention our athletes. But no, they are the reason for the development.
That's what I always thought. Like McDonald's threw their name, threw a bunch of money and threw their name on stuff. I'm like, these athletes have never had McDonald's in the past 4 years. But they're paying a bunch of money to get them to where they are.
Yep. Yeah. Our Australian programs, are all government funded. The UK program is all funded from, I believe, the lottery.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's actually awesome.
It is kind of cool, right?
Yes.
I don't know what the lottery funds here.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's the lottery? What's the profits of America's lottery?
Schools.
Is it schools?
It goes to
Yeah.
schools, yeah. At least Michigan, I know it does.
That's cool.
One or the other. Be smart or fast, I guess. Got to be one.
I like that.
You might get paid more to be fast. At least in America. Maybe in all of them.
So do you know how many podiums you have with your clothing on people? Like, do you have a count? Or
No
is it
idea.
Just it's probably quite
No
a bit?
idea. I think we probably kept track the first year.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I have no idea. I think
It's probably a good problem because your number's so high, you're like, I just lost count.
Is it only cycling stuff, or do you do
No,
speed skating stuff? Like, do you have stuff coming up in the Olympics that's about to happen?
Yep. Yeah, so, no, we do speed skating, cycling, triathlon. We dabble in other things that we know. We spoke about rugby. We make, Rockford's
Can you make the short
rugby
shorter?
kit. With what are we talking, rugby or cycling? Rugby is pretty short.
My high school ones were so short that like we had to like take care of the line, or there was hair hanging out the bottom. Now, modern rugby is like 3 inches longer.
Right, they're longer now.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we make the longer of the rugby ones now. No, the rugby, and we play around with different stuff. I was talking to a customer today about it. It was the rugby was. They brought it in. They're like, we're really not happy. Rockford have state champs, men and women.
Yeah, I lost to them.
There you go. So they brought it in, and we're like, well, it kind of does suck. I think I knew rugby. I knew that there's fabrics way better than that. So. We picked a fabric that's really slippery, that's hard to grab.
Yeah, I would say it was like the wool stuff that we played with was so easy to just grab, and it was so stiff that if someone did get a hold of you, they were throwing you down to the ground. It's not like a football jersey where it's got a little stretch and will rip out of their hand. Rugby, if you get grabbed, you're just getting spun down. Same with the shorts. No stretch.
Yep. So we played with that. We got it... it's snug, it's hard to grab, it's strong, it's very slippery, and then we put silicone embedded on the chest, like the pros do. So
no nipple chafe?
Well, no, on the outside. So like if it's crappy conditions, the ball sticks to the silicone, right? Like
that would have been nice.
Yeah, it's harder to, fumble the ball. So we did all that thing just on the local level here, and they crushed it. And he was just like, we are not ever recommending your stuff. I'm sorry.
Anybody else?
We've had like 3 body tackles this season. Like, just nobody can get us. So they're just like, yeah, we're.
And that's kind of a good compliment. You're so good, we're going to keep you a secret.
Right, and we're plenty busy with all the cycling stuff that we don't need to do rugby too, right? It was just a thing. So no, we're happy with that, and the women's team has it now too, and it's been a fun. I'm reliving my youth by doing some rugby stuff. It's cool. So
it really is a beautiful sport. People like don't get it in America. You have to explain to them. It's like if you do football and you just take all the breaks out of it, it's the same exact sport.
Right.
When you go into a rock or a mall, like it's just a matter of how you present the ball back versus knocking the shit out of someone.
Yeah, it's just different. Yeah, there's action the whole time.
I mean, I learned a lot about sportsmanship just from playing that game because it's like you just knock the crap out of each other, but you always hang out with the other team. You always shake their hand, and I honestly think that is something that cycling might be missing a little bit of. Like, it gets a little snotty at the end, especially big races. And I don't know. I learned that in high school when I was in 9th grade, and I've carried it with me in every sport and everything I've ever done. Like, you respect your competition, whether you win or lose, and you talk about how awesome it was after, which is what we do with this podcast.
I love that. Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's, I wish I could remember, the saying, comparing it against soccer. I want to say it's, rugby is a thug's sport played by gentlemen, and soccer is a gentleman's sport played by thugs.
I can see that.
It makes a lot of sense.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
They just get paid a lot more.
Yeah. I love this has turned into a, rugby podcast.
We're all over the place. We just want interesting stories. And you're like a king of interesting stories.
Oh, I don't know.
What's next? Where's your life headed? Where's your wife's life headed? Where's Vi 13 headed?
Yeah, I think we have new partners that are starting January 1st. So that's an epic new venture for us. I've been telling everyone for 15 years that I suck at business, but no one seems to believe me the whole time. But we've crossed paths with these amazing people that are really good at business, really good at scaling. We just work more. As we grow, we just work more. So, so that's a fun new project, I think, that's kind of on the horizon. Yeah, I think just more of the same. The local stuff is super rad to us, being a part of events here. And, our boy is 8. He was the youngest rider at Barrie.
That's something.
That's cool, right?
Holy crap.
So he did the full, what was the short?
18.
18. He did the full 18. So we went down and pre-rode it the weekend before because I wasn't sure he'd make it.
He's 8?
Yeah, he was 7 at the time.
Wow.
So, he made it, but it was tough, right?
Three sisters are a pain in the butt.
Oh, yeah. That was tough for him. But on the day, dude, with all those people, he was super excited. He was left and right and going past people, and he's only on a little 24 mountain bike, right? So he went 15 minutes quicker.
Nothing like winning the gene pool lottery.
No skills at all. He's a BMX rider, right? He's a sprinter. No, but that was super fun. So, doing more stuff like that, I think, is definitely, on the horizon.
Well, when he's ready for downhill stuff, between the three of us, we got bikes for him.
I'd love that.
We will figure it out.
I'd love that.
I know Kellen, for a fact, has some...
Yeah, my kid's 8 too. He's all about it. Sure, got to ride.
I mean,
all
right. I got 2 pretty sweet little slopestyle bikes that translate pretty well into gravity bikes for littler people.
I like that. Yeah, let's get it. I mean, I'm from Canberra back home in Australia, which is one of our capitals of downhill.
And you've got some decent athletes. Troy Brosnan's pretty solid. Who won the race out of nowhere? Luke Meyer-Smith. Yep. Just destroying my fantasy team.
My apologies.
Tehudo Aruke Penne?
He's New Zealand.
Oh, damn it. My bad.
Sounds like a Kiwi. Yeah. Sounds like he hasn't had to deal with snakes his whole life.
Well, I was just about to shit on him because he's been on my fantasy team all year and hasn't done a thing.
Oh, don't let me stop you.
Yeah.
Sam Hill is my favorite downhill rider of all time. So that's he's straight out of Australia. Though I did have Locke and Stephen McNabb. He's a Kiwi. Well, Lauren won. I owe him a jersey. So that's a thing that happened today.
Still haven't gotten mine from last year.
Well,
but I think I'm in the right place for it. Oh, Brian, get your credit card out, please.
Let me make some fun. No, I'm let's play around with that. I could make downhill guys fast. We want
to look slow though. That's the thing.
We developed. We have the world number 3 in BMX in our jersey at the moment, and we developed it with our Paris fabric, our aero fabric we use for the road. So
how does your kits look on not skinny middle-aged people?
Yeah, gingers.
No, all of you. F you. It's not just me.
It's a great question.
I gotta wear a pair of Skims underneath my shit.
Did you partner with Victoria's Secret to keep the things in
Not
place?
at all. But it is a great question.
It's just a bra on their butt.
How you look in the kit really depends on how fast you're going.
Oh, that's fair.
Can't go fast, look fast.
Right. If you're moving quickly, you look fantastic.
It's all the beers.
The podium could be an issue, but funny story. We made this really cheap base layer Didn't want to make it, but we had a customer that didn't want to pay anything basically for a base layer. So we made this mesh base layer. Now, the more expensive the fabric, the more elastic it is, and vice versa, right? So the cheap fabrics they're not elastic. It's like a straight jacket to put on. So I sent it to him. He loved it. More people bought it. We ended up like 3 years in. I'm just like, are we still selling this thing? I'm done selling. I'm not selling it anymore. So I remove it off the website, would remove it off the price list. I get all these calls, and they're just like, dude, where's the base layer? And I'm like, we have a really nice one that actually wicks and works, and I'm like, I can sell it to you cheaper if you want, but I'm not doing the crappy one anymore. And they're like, no, I need that base layer, right? And it was because it wasn't stretching, they looked better in kit. Right? So I added it back in, and I now call it the shapeshifter.
Who said you weren't a good salesman?
Right. It's on the website, shapeshifter.
Sign us up for 3 of those, please.
Right.
Immediately. Book it.
Kellen, take this home.
Before we let you go, where can people find you?
Running from the police. I don't know. Walk down to 113 Cortlandt Street, Rockford. You'll find us there. Or vie13.com, vie13.com.
Great. Well, we appreciate having you on. We appreciate all the fun stories and good talks. And like always, guys, remember to keep progressing, keep pushing yourself, and have fun. Thanks.
Bye-bye.